back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, April 2nd, 2018. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Mentally, one of the hardest things to do as an athlete is to work yourself back into shape after being sidelined with an injury. But now that she's starting to get her groove back after a handful of recent ankle issues, former figure international champ Camala Rodriguez is starting to look more like her old self again. Over the weekend, Rodriguez released a short clip from a recent leg session where we see her putting that ankle to the test with a good-looking set of side lunges. Don't let the fact that she's been forced to do some downtime fool you, because when she's firing on all cylinders, Camala Rodriguez is still one of the best in the division. And as long as her rehab days are on schedule, maybe there's an outside shot we see her make a run to the stage at some point later this season. You're not a real bodybuilder if you haven't celebrated International Chest Day at least once in your life. And in all my years in the sport, I haven't met too many athletes realer than 212 veteran Shaun Clarita. Bright and early this morning, the 212 Giant Killer released new video from another savage chest workout, which must mean that his New York Pro prep is starting to hum along. The one thing that you have to admire about Clarita is how this guy manages to bring it each and every time he goes to the stage. And just like clockwork, I can guarantee you that in less than 8 weeks from now, we're going to see this guy come out on that New York Pro stage at his absolute best. Speaking of International Chest Day, is there anyone in the world who you'd rather train chest with on a Monday than Branch Warren? Deep down in the heart of Texas, the former perennial Olympian decided to pop up and deliver a surprise clip from his latest Chest Day massacre for the fans, who have been chomping at the bit after seeing Branch getting after it with that trademark homicidal intensity he's had since day one. Believe it or not, it was only 2 years ago that we saw Branch show up in Columbus to deliver a top 5 finish in a show that most people remember as the coronation of Cedric McMillan. And given as strong and as healthy as he's looking right about now, I wouldn't say it's completely out of the question for us to see a Branch Warren return at some point here over the next year or so. I remember hearing an interview once where Kobe Bryant talked about using every single source of negative energy he could to fuel himself through the grind of the season. And I don't have to be there in the building to know that reigning and defending 4-time men's physique Olympia champ Jeremy Buendia is probably doing the exact same thing right about now. Late last week, Buendia was spotted knocking out a few sets of heavy squats as he continues to plug along on his road to recovery, following surgery to repair a torn pec a few weeks ago. By his own account, Buendia is right where he needs to be to put his title on the line again later this season. And if he's one of those guys fueled by rumors and negativity, after all the talk we've been hearing, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he came out and put together his best overall look to date. Peaking for a show is one thing, but the smart athletes, those are the ones who can run the gauntlet because they understand what it means to peak their performance over the course of a season, which is exactly what it looks like figure star in training Sandra Grajales is doing right now. A little over 48 hours removed from putting together another awesome performance on her 2018 Grand Tour at the St. Louis Pro, Grajales is already back to putting in some long hours at the office. Even with these first few shows under her belt this season, you can still almost feel like she's got one big round left in the chamber that she's going to let off at some point this season. And when she does, you can bet your butt that she's going to hurt some serious feelings in the process. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.